And good evening, everyone. Bob Kurtz, Bill K, Jeff Gastineau, Scotty Miller with you. We are 3KGthecage.com. It's our Wednesday night Coach's Cage program live from Arnie's Pizza here in Rensselaer, right across from St. Joseph's College. Come on in and enjoy the great food here and atmosphere at Arnie's. And we kick things off with Mark Gretten, Tri-County Cavalier boys coach. Mark, good to see you.
Yep.
Last time I talked to you, you were under the weather. You're okay now.
Yes, doing much better. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah, feeling really good.
Good. 3 games to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what happened the first.
Well, as I was here last Wednesday, we were finishing up talking about Frontier and how we did such a great job in the second half, allowing Frontier to 4 points total in the second half. And by golly, we almost duplicated that on Thursday against Covenant Christian. So for the second straight game, we were down at halftime. That first half, I think we were down 25-11 at one point, and then we scored 9 points within like 30 seconds. We hit a three. Riley Hughes hits a three, gets fouled, goes to the line, misses the free throw. Ball bounces back to Kobe Baylor at the three-point line. He banks in the three. So then they come down, we stop them, come back down in transition, and Kobe Baylor gets fouled going in for a layup and gets an and one. So right there, 30 seconds, and it just turned just like that, where we scored 9 points. And we trailed at halftime then 36-34, and then we held Covenant Christian to 1 point in the third quarter and 7 points in the fourth quarter. They had one field goal the entire second half, just like Frontier did on Tuesday. So our defense has really came alive.
You could get used to that, couldn't you?
Oh boy, definitely. Well, I don't want to be down at halftime every game, but if we have to be down at half to really play well in the second half and come out with wins, I guess I would take it. So again, a nice hard-fought win by our boys. You guys saw us Friday night. You know, they don't give up. They play really hard the entire time, and it's a tribute to them on what they're able to accomplish. And Kobe Baylor had his really good breakout game that night when he scored 27 points for us. So, he was just hitting everything from three. And I'm looking at my stats here. Kobe had 27, and then we had Connor Ross, Logan Doty with 8, and Corbin Lawson 7, Nate Corbin 6. So still getting some guys contributing. And then Nate Corbin had 13 boards that game. So we're still doing a lot of good things, but Kobe, had the hot hand, and, we kind of kept going to him, and that kind of propelled us in that win over Covenant Christian.
Mark, when you get those moments like that offensive explosion there, doesn't that just energizes the crowd, doesn't it? It just really makes it fun.
It does, and the other thing it does, it energizes our bench, so I think that helps too. Then when guys are coming into the game, they're excited, they're ready to go, and yes, the crowd gets going, and having this stretch that we've had with all home games, that's been a help for us too, and to have that crowd behind us was really good too. Yeah, and playing on a Thursday night, you don't always get the best of crowds, but we had a decent crowd that night, and Covenant brought a decent crowd, and our kids played well in that second half.
Friday night?
Well, Friday night, I was under the weather. I told my JV coach, Ryan Harrington, right around lunchtime that
that's what he told me.
Yep, here's the book. I'm going home. I can't coach. And, my wife got sick the night before. It was we figured out just like a little 24-hour flu bug. And, she was sick all through the night. And I was fine till I got to school. And then I kind of threw up at school. And I was like, oh, boy. And I knew how she felt. And I was like, I can't risk it. I don't want to get my kids sick.
Right.
And then I still did not feel well the rest of the night at all. And unfortunately, it was our senior night, and I didn't get a chance to be there. But I was able to have someone FaceTime, and I was able to watch that. And I know you guys covered the senior night as well. So I'm very fortunate that I was able to at least see that. And, Ryan's a great coach, and he did a great job with our kids. And, I was able to watch it on 3KG The Cage, and thank goodness. And, our kids just kind of struggled early on. They allowed second chance points, and most of those happened to be the three-point shot. They'd get the rebound, kick it back out, three-pointer. And I think there was 9 in the first quarter that were just offensive rebounds, kick out to the three and make it. And, those kill you. If we could have got those stops, and maybe got a little confidence, things could have been a little different. We didn't stop the drive very well, and I think Benton Central got the lead to 30, I think maybe to start the fourth or something. And then our kids just kept playing, kept grinding, and Kobe Baylor got hot again. I think he was 5 of 6 from 3 that night, and he ended up with 21. And we cut the lead to 11, and I think had
from 30 to 11.
And had Benton Central reeling a little bit. And I know they had subbed some as well, but they put their starters back in, and they were saying enough of this, and our kids just kept playing till the very end. And super proud of our kids and what they did, and how they kept challenging themselves. They don't just settle that this is how the game's going to end. They kept playing, and I'm just, again, super proud of what they did. In that game we had, like I told you, Colby Baylor with 21, and Nate Corbin had 14, and looks like 4 rebounds. So, and then Connor Ross had 6 rebounds. I'm calling Connor's name a lot. He's another sophomore that we have that's really starting to get going. Colby Baylor's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. Nate Corbin's a junior. Logan Doty, he's doing a lot of good things for us, a senior, and Corbin Lawson. But, our sophomores are really starting to produce for us, and that hopefully bodes well for us.
And then last night.
We played last night, and of course, we played a very good North White team, another conference game rivalry, and then a potential sectional opponent. And, they've lost 3 games all year, ranked in the top 10 in the Class A in the state. And, we knew we'd have our hands full. We had the advantage of size-wise, but, boy, their quickness, you just can't account for that quickness that they have and their anticipation. And, I joke with Matt all the time that they've got like 60-year seniors on their team because they've been playing forever, it seems like. And they just play so well together. And, it was a tough matchup for us, but we came out looking really good early on and played really well with them, held like a 12-5 lead, and then maybe even had another 7-8 point lead for a while, and then took a 21-20 lead after the first quarter. And then then the wheels kind of fell off, and they started to get going. They started hitting some shots, and we started turning the ball over more and more, and we're down 14 at halftime, 44-30. So at halftime, so 30 points for us. That's pretty good at halftime. And this is all without Kobe Baylor. So Kobe was homesick that night. So that little bug that I had, I think, is kind of going around the school a little bit.
Blame it on you.
Let's please don't. I don't like that. But
I know.
but no. So we did not have him, but other guys stepped up.
Right.
And Nate Corbin really stepped up last night. He had 19 points for us. And then Connor Ross, I thought, had a beautiful game for us. Connor had 13 points and 7 rebounds. I said Nate had 19, but he also had 14 rebounds.
Whoa,
so nice double-double for Nate Corbin. And Logan Doty, he's solid as normal. He gets his typical points, and Logan had 11. So, again, it was just a tough one that North White ended up pulling away from us. Again, getting some easy layups, hitting some tough jumpers, and it's hard to just contain the Pogue and Bushman kid and Miller kid, and for an entire 4 quarters it is. And we did a decent job in spurts, but they kind of got loose, and they end up winning 77-52. But again, I wasn't displeased with our kids' effort. We just have to execute better with turnovers and things like that. So. Again, it's a great learning experience. It's where our kids know they have to get to and be if we want to compete for a sectional championship, which, we get to host on our own floor. So, that's something that we can kind of strive for and look forward to these next couple of weeks to try to get better at, and maybe, try to challenge for that sectional championship.
Mark, when you face a disciplined team like North White that's got such talent too, and shooting abilities, what are some of the things that that pregame talk that you have with your kids in the locker room before you come out? What are the things you tell them?
Well, we got to take care of the ball because we know that they're going to be very aggressive, and we have to make those maybe short passes instead of those long passes because they can get there. And one thing I didn't really tell them is, hey, make sure you're looking behind your back too, because you have one guy in front, but then here comes another one ready to swipe it and try to take it away. And again, they do a great job of that. And we just told our kids, hey, play with confidence. We want to shoot well, and we need to rebound. We thought we had the size advantage, so we thought we could out-rebound them. And so those are the things we kind of talked about, but it was the turnovers. We had 24 turnovers last night compared to North White's 10 is what I had. So that's a lot of extra possessions. Yep, a lot of extra possessions there that they were able to get.
What are the games you have left, and what are you trying to accomplish these last couple of weeks?
Well, we've got 3 games left on our slate right now. We travel to Faith Christian this Friday.
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting. That's a solid thing, right?
Yep.
And then next Tuesday we host North Newton in our last conference game, and I believe you guys will
be there for
that.
Yep.
So, and then we finish off at the following Friday at Pioneer. So, what we want to accomplish is just continue to get better. I feel like we've kind of had a roller coaster season. I thought we were looking really good around the Hebron tournament right after the Christmas season there, and then all of a sudden we started going back down, I thought, and then now we're starting to play a little bit better again. So, if we can continue on this upward trend that we're at, I like that. I think that we can maybe challenge some teams in that sectional and maybe beat some teams that have beaten us already. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this draw is coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, hosting the sectional is never a bad thing, right?
Never a bad thing. We've had to go to Caston many times, and especially if you have to go there 3 times in a week, that
tough.
drive is tough. So, Caston might have to do that to come to us 3 times in a week, and it's a tough thing. But yes, us hosting it, definitely, it's something that we look forward to doing, and it is a little bit of an advantage. I believe.
Everybody in the field there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got Pioneer, Caston, and then South Newton, Frontier, North White, and us. So the 6-team tournament, most of them are conference teams, with the exception of Pioneer and Caston. But I don't play Caston, but we usually scrimmage each other during the summer, so we get at least a chance to look at each other. And then we play Pioneer the last game of our season, so we will have played everyone but Caston, that's in the sectional.
All right. And anything else you know?
How about the junior varsity recap for those games?
Yeah, the JV, they I think they lost all 3 games. Riley Ewan stepped in for Coach Harrington when he coached for me, and he's our C team coach, and he coached the JV guys on Friday against Benton Central. But again, with Kobe Baylor gone, so then we took a couple other players from the JV and took some of their quarters away, and it's always a mixture of things that we have to steal away from that JV team. And they didn't win any of those games, and we had a couple guys that were injured the beginning of the week, and now they're back. So I think we're now finally back at full strength once we get Baylor back and going from school, and hopefully no one else gets sick. But again, our JV kids, they play really hard, and that's something that I think as a coaching staff that we just expect from our kids, and we demand it in practice, and we're getting that from our kids right now.
I want to know who the record goes on, wins or losses there when you have an interim coach there.
Sure. I don't know what the technical term is for that, to be honest, but since it's a loss, I guess we'll give it to Coach Harrington, right? No, I don't know. I'm assuming it would go to me, but I don't know how that works. That's a good question, Bob.
Yeah.
I can't answer that one for you.
Oh, well, that's
Mark,
all right.
Mark, tell us a little bit about Coach Harrington. He seems like such a knowledgeable guy, a young guy that, brings a lot of enthusiasm. Great interview for us.
Yeah.
Is his future, you think he'll be off to a head coaching job before long, or does he love Tri-County? Or
Well, I think if he wants to and the opportunity arises, I think he would be a great varsity basketball coach. I met Coach Harrington when he was in the 7th grade, and I coached him as a 7th grade basketball coach, and he was a player for me. So, and then, I coached him in junior high track, and I've seen him kind of grow up, throughout the years. And then I think it was my last year or 2 years of being the JV coach for Coach Shear. He was our freshman/C team coach, and then when I got the head basketball job, I promoted him to be the JV coach. And he works really hard. He takes it serious. He scouts. He knows how to do everything that a varsity basketball coach does, and he does it for our program. And he's got different things and different ideas that he brings to practice. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to have a guy like him. And if he wants to make that move sometime, I definitely think that he would be great somewhere. But I know he also likes coaching varsity track and cross country. He does that, so he's got a lot of things going for him, and that if he could do a lot of different things. So
You've been around a while.
Who's that, me?
You.
Yeah, I have. So
unbelievable. You already got the coaching tree.
I figured out, a couple weeks ago that I have coached 37 different teams at Tri-County through different sports, whether it's junior high track, junior high football, varsity football, junior high basketball, 37 different teams.
Whoa.
So I've been around doing a lot of different things for a while.
You still know everybody's name, probably, right?
I know almost all of them.
Yeah,
I think I do. Yeah.
There you go.
How about the thing about us two that remember when you were getting announced as a starting lineup at Tri-County?
Well, yeah, I know. I remember those days too. That was a lot of fun. And that North White team we played reminds me a little bit of how we played too. Getting up and down the floor and flying around. And we had maybe a little bit bigger athletes as far as inside, but yeah, they play very similar to the way that we played, and I kind of respect the way they do that, and it's tough to stop when you've got the guns that can do it. So
We'll have to sometime we have more time. We'll have to
Oh, geez.
reminisce about
Oh,
those.
here
we
we
could
go.
just do a 3 kg coach's cage, and
Wouldn't
we
that
could
be great? Yeah,
bring some of these guys in. Yeah, we could just talk about the old Tri-County days.
Boy, would that
Bill
be-
can't remember yesterday, but 30 years ago with your team, he can remember that.
Oh
So,
yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Mark,
That would
thanks
be
for coming
awesome.
over. We'll see you next week. All right.
All right, thanks guys.
All
Thanks,
right.
Mark.
Mark Grettencord from the Tri-County Cavaliers. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref!
That's simple human sense.
The Conrad Agency in Fowler and Brook. Call 765-884-0530. Back on the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com. Of course, every Wednesday night we're here at 6 o'clock. You can catch us on our website or our Facebook page at 3KG The Cage Community Broadcasting and see the live stream. And Sam Zachary has joined us now from the North Newton Spartans. Sam, I know you're a very busy man. Thanks for taking some time out and joining us tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad I was able to get over here.
You're busy.
I've gotten a lot busier since the year changed. That's for sure. I still don't think I've had to dive completely in, but I've realized.
If you don't mind, tell us what you're doing now.
On January 11th, I think I officially took over as the athletic director at North Newton. So right now I'm kind of half working in the athletic office and half teaching, along with coaching. So
That'll change though eventually, right?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's what they told me at least in December and then in January. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot to do, a lot to learn. Like I told you guys earlier, you don't really, when you're teaching and you're coaching, you get in a routine that things just sort of work. Well, then something else gets thrown in there and it ruins that routine, and there's a lot to do and there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of places to be, and
There's not very many hours in the day.
there are not. That's like I told you guys, I've missed the last couple of Wednesdays here because Wednesday's the only night I know I can go home at 5 o'clock. We don't have any athletic events. We don't have any meetings. The buildings clear out at 5:30. I can go home and I can sit and watch TV. Most of the time, when we have games or we have stuff going on, I don't get home till 9 o'clock. Starting days at I leave the house before 7 and I get home after 9. Those are long hours. I guess I should start. I mean, those will be my consistent hours here soon. The only thing will be I'll get rid of those papers I have to grade that just keep stacking up right beside me.
Now, I know some schools in our area don't allow you to coach and be an administrator. Where are you at with that?
That was another thing we talked about too in January. The one thing they told me is I asked that question and they told me, Mike was allowed to be the baseball coach, and they didn't think there would be a reason why I would not be able to keep basketball. So I'm under the impression that the only reason I would have to give it up is if I chose to. And we just had a conversation about me not being very old. That was one of my worries all along. I knew before the issue with Mike happened, Mike was going to retire here in the next few years. And he had kind of mentioned, I got 3 more years left, and then I retire. And they had kind of mentioned, hanging around trying to see that if that job became available. And I told him, I don't know that I'd want it so early because this is my 5th year coaching. I had the 2 years at Tri-County. This is my 3rd year. I don't know if I want to do it 5 years and be done with it. A lot of guys that coach and then get into administration have 15, 20 years under their belt that, you can say, well, that was a good career. I'm ready to step back and be out of it. I don't know that I'm at that point yet. I'm still young. I still enjoy getting in the gym. I enjoy the long hours. I enjoy the scouting. I enjoy all of that. And usually when you see guys transition, it's because they don't want to put in those hours and all that time. But I still love it. And so I don't know that I want to give it up just yet. If it becomes too much in the future, that may be something I have to look at. But for right now, I'm loving what I'm doing, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be really enjoyable for me.
Well, we're glad you're in that position. That's helpful to us for sure.
I appreciate that.
I think it's always so important to have some young blood in some in each school, in the area coaching, and just you represent an important sector that there's not enough of. You look around and you worry that we're not going to get enough young guys coming in to fill in any kind of holes and enough. And so I'm glad you're here, and it's always just a pleasure to be here with your enthusiasm and all your knowledge.
One thing with that being young, I think over there, the big thing they were looking for, and it's the same when I took the basketball job. When I took my first senior class, I was the 4th basketball coach in 4 years. And I don't know if anybody back to 1994, I think, 1995, had been there more than 4 years.
Wow.
And the athletic director position has been very similar.
A lot of turnover.
It's been 3 years and he moved up to the principal, or it was 3 years and moved on, or somebody's filled in for a year or two. And part of I think what was appealing about me is my age and the idea that there could be some long-term consistency in that position. So I'm hoping that I do a good enough job that I could stay around and continue in that role for multiple years. I think one of the issues with our athletic department is the consistency. One guy comes in for 1 year and wants to do all of this stuff. Well, then it's different the next year, and then you get 2 years and it's different. Having an athletic culture, places like Rensselaer where Mr. Hickman's been there for quite a few years, you see there's consistency in all of his programs. The same at Tri-County. I know Jeff has stepped in the last 5 years, but before that it was Denny, and you saw a lot of success across the board in sports. So I think just creating that consistency will help our athletic culture at North Newton, and that's something I'm hoping I can stay long term, that we can get that going over there.
Well, let's bring us up to date on the Spartan basketball team. What's your record? And about the last week, what have you been playing, and how'd you do?
We're sitting at 8-10 right now. We've been playing a lot better as of late. The early part of our schedule is rough. We got Hebron, Lake Station's on a roll.
They're still undefeated, aren't they?
I think they got beat the other night by Boone Grove.
Oh, okay.
Boone Grove
right.
came back to beat them. So they're sitting somewhere like 16-1, 16-2. I think they got beat last night, actually. But the early part of our schedule is pretty tough. And then we start off January, and it seemed like, we'd get a game where we could be competitive in, and then we'd run into a team that's really solid. We beat West Central, and then we run into KV, who's really solid, has a really good team. We come back next, and I think we played Faith Christian, and we played them pretty close down to the end of the game. Then we turn around, we run into a Rensselaer. So just we would get a step forward, and then we'd face a tough challenge, and it was hard to kind of build through that. Within this last week,
we've won 3 out of 4.
Yeah, we've played 4 games since last Tuesday, and we won 3 last week, and then we played we had a shot to win the game with 10 seconds left last night at River Forest. Ended up getting beat by 5. So, I told the kids, we'll get to a point where our schedule will get better for us, and once we have a game where we have to play a complete one, we'll turn the corner. Well, that was last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, Delphi had us down 12 going into the 4th quarter.
Wow.
And we fought back, and Evan Gagnon hit a big 3 in the corner with 14 and a half seconds left to take the lead by 1. And we were able to pull that one out, and we beat Delphi by 3. And then, I told the kids in the locker room, I could see it click. We had to battle back. We had to do things, correctly. We had to look to score. We had to finish opportunities, and we did that in the Delphi game. And that carried over into the Frontier game. That carried over into the Washington Township game on Saturday. And even last night, I told our kids before practice today, we played really well. I was not disappointed in how we played last night. Sometimes you just miss shots, and that's what happened. We had an opportunity to take the lead. We had plenty of opportunities throughout the game, but we had an opportunity with 10 seconds left in a hard-fought battle where we had to face some adversity. We did things well. We did things the right way. Sometimes you just come up short. And I told them, don't lose your confidence because we still have games ahead of us. We've got lacrosse on Friday. We've got South Newton. We've got Tri-County. We have games that we can compete in and we can win. Don't lose everything we've built in the last week just because you had to face adversity and it didn't go our way, where last week it went our way. We're getting better. You said when I came in, Bill, we're young. I have one kid that leaves this program right now. I have one senior. I'm really a lot of my time, a lot of my playing time, 3 sophomores and 4 juniors. They're going to get a lot of experience, and next year we're going to be better. We're going to be better for this experience. My first year it was that same way. I had 2 seniors and 5 juniors. We struggled. We got to February, and we were starting to play in 1-2 possession games. Put one all together against Frontier, and then last year we were able to win 13 games, which hadn't been done there in 15 years. So I think we're getting ourselves onto that track, and you can see the if you go back and watch us on film against Hebron, we're a completely different team right now than we were against Hebron, and that's the biggest thing, regardless of whether we're 8-10, 4-14, wherever we're sitting. The biggest thing is we are getting better and we're getting that experience so I can bring them all back next year and hopefully continue moving forward.
We're talking with Sam Zachary, North Newton boys coach. What's been the key for the turnaround here?
I think early on, I had a sophomore right now play varsity as a freshman, and then a junior that played, and then the rest of them were on, the JV. The JV, we've kind of worked to find a system that fits our JV team when they play, and it's not necessarily the same system I use at the varsity level. Because at the end of the day, I want them to learn what I'm doing, but I also want them to be competitive. And if we, last year I had a 6'4" post player and a 6'3" post player. Well, our JV had a 5'10" post player and a 5'11" post player. It's hard to run that same system when you're relying on height. I think early in the year it was trying to mix that all together and find the right system for the group of kids we had. I tried to do something different and it didn't work. So I went back to what I did last year, and it still didn't completely work because I didn't have all the pieces. So right now we found a system that's working for us. You're starting to see the kids buy in. We're starting to get that chemistry built. We always talk about chemistry problems when these kids haven't played together in a year or two, and it's a new group of kids, and we're throwing different kids in and out at times. that right now they're starting to gel. You know, I've had in the last week, I think I've had one kid average about 15 and 2 different kids go for 20 points. So, you know, we're finding that we have a multitude of weapons who can score or who can take over a game. They're learning how to kind of play off of each other. So if Caden comes down and he hits a couple big shots and they take Caden away, we know next we're looking at Evan or we're looking at Mike to make plays for us. And early in the year, I think when Caden got a hot hand, Caden was going to keep the ball in his hands and didn't want to give it up. Now we're learning that, you know, when somebody is taken out, you know, when Caden has a hot hand and they start to key on him, we've got other pieces and we can build off of each other and do that well. We've also focused a lot on the defensive end, and we've talked about how our defense has got to be much better, and that'll transition to our offense. You know, if you can keep teams from scoring, you got a better shot at winning. And now that we've gotten, you know, the kids have bought into that mindset, we've been able to do that a lot better than we did early in the year.
What's up next for the Spartans?
Hopefully on Friday we're able to play lacrosse. Another team that's sitting right around 500 that'll be a good contest for us. Saturday we got our big rivalry game against South Newton at South Newton. And then we got another conference game coming up next Tuesday against Tri-County at Tri-County.
And both of those games, the South Newton game and the Tri-County game, will be right here on 3KG, The Cage.
Live stream?
Live streaming, yes, both times.
Perfect.
So appreciate that. And how about the JV? Where are we at on there?
We're getting better. You know, like I said, you know, my system doesn't necessarily fit what they have right now. You know, their biggest post player is probably their best outside shooter. And so they've had to, you know, kind of adapt. You can see the progress they're making. You know, they're not making a lot of the same mistakes they were making earlier in the year. But, you know, to me, and I think most guys sitting here behind me will tell you, our JV record means nothing.
Right.
As long as they're playing and as long as they're getting better. And I think that's the biggest thing we're seeing right now is those guys are playing hard, they're getting better, and they're learning, and that's the important thing.
Sam, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it, and we'll see you Saturday, okay?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
I appreciate it.
All right. Sam Zachary from the North Newton Spartans. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
For compassionate veterinary care, you can count on Rensselaer Pet Care. Dr. Jan Mallory and Dr. Nick Mallory are now seeing patients at their new facility located at 1370 St. Gaspar Drive North in Rensselaer behind Walmart. We treat your pet like a member of the family. From wellness exams and vaccines to complex surgical procedures, your dog or cat will receive high-quality care at our hospital. Boarding is also available. For more information or to check hours of operation, contact Rensselaer Pet Care at 219-866-4671.
Okay, and Bob Kurtz back with you on the Coach's Cage program from Arnie's, and the coach of Arnie's, Beth Graff, right here. Beth,
Yeah.
thanks for stopping by. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Good.
You've got some big things going on, so I want you to bring our listeners, our viewers, up to date on what's going on.
Yep. Next week is National FFA Week. So we're starting off with this Friday. If anyone remembers it, we did FFA Fridays. So for the next 4 Fridays between 4 and 9 p.m., come in, eat your dinner at Arnie's, take out, whichever, meet some FFA members, and then 10% of those sales go back to the FFA. We've additionally added Monday. So next Monday, we are also going to do the 4 to 9. I don't know that there'll be any FFA members here to talk to because they've got a busy schedule with FFA week. They've got lots of activities, but we're still going to add that extra Monday in.
So next 4 Fridays.
Yep, starting
and
this
Monday.
Friday and Monday, this coming Monday.
That's kind of a tradition with you guys, isn't it?
This is the second year in a row. This is an annual thing now, I
That's
think.
right.
Oh, my goodness.
Called annual.
Yep.
I bet they love you for that.
Well, we love the FFA, and I believe the money that we donate goes straight to the scholarships for the seniors.
How awesome is that? Then?
Yes,
That's
yes.
great.
So giving right back to our kids that are in our chapter here.
And you know you can't beat the food here.
Yeah,
so.
you're already eating pizza on Friday, right?
That's
so
right.
might as well get it from Arnie's.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Well, we sure appreciate you
You're
opening
welcome.
the doors for all our coaches. They love
Yep.
it here, and
It's great to have you guys there.
You treat us well, and we appreciate
You guys are
that.
such a good fit for us. It seems like your location's awesome. The food is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just keep coming
And
back.
we make the best chili.
Oh, no
Oh,
kidding.
geez.
No kidding.
Yep.
We
These
can
guys
attest to
consume
that.
Right? That's a regular here, right?
Oh man, it is. So, and your salads are great, pizzas are great.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
have it all. We have Scotty changes up every week.
I know.
so.
Scotty gets something different every week.
Yeah, but the rest of us are kind of set on our ways here. But Beth, thanks a lot. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Good to see you guys again.
All right, Beth Graff, owner of Arnie's here, and having a very special time for the FFA. So now we got Matt Sippema coming in to join us here. There you go.
Hey, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
You guys just keep continuing to roll.
Yep.
Keep it on.
Yep. The
Yeah.
boys have been playing good all year.
You know, we talked to Hunter Pogue way back.
North Newton game.
Yeah. And he said, we asked him, what do you look forward to the rest of the year? I want to win them all.
13 in a row is what he said. I think he's what he said.
Yeah, that's I said last week when we mentioned that. I don't think it's really cockiness on his part. You've had a chance to meet with him and talk with him, and it's just confidence.
No, he's
No,
not
it
a
was
cocky person.
it was before the Carroll game. I remember we said,
Yeah,
"Hey, you got Carroll staring you in the face," and he said,
Yeah.
"I know."
Yeah.
All right. Well, how many games do we have to talk about? And take it away.
Let's go back. Be Friday, right? Sorry. Friday we played South Newton. No, Saturday. We had a 4-day
Played
weekend.
Winnemac.
Played Winnemac Thursday night.
Yeah, there you go.
So really, with the Winnemac thing, they're physically strong. They had a guard that didn't start for them or didn't play for them that we were anticipating seeing. They actually played a Bo Brandt, who would have been their center, kind of played point guard for him and kind of caught us off guard. Very strong physical boy. Watching the lineups coming out, I looked at Coach Smith and Coach Pogue and said, these guys are going to give us a challenge just because of their physical size, and they have quickness to go with it. So, anyways, we went out there, and I really thought there was a little bit of a hangover from the Caston game that previous Monday night. We hadn't had a chance to really practice a lot. I mean, we just got done watching our girls. I mean, they're amazing. We just got done watching our girls win sectionals the night before. So I think it was just a little hangover there. Got out, and we played even in the first quarter. I think it was 10-10, 10-12 or something like that. But one thing I've learned about our offense this year, just our team, is a lot of teams play even with us for 4 or 5 or 6 minutes. And, you know, you say, well, that's a quarter of a game. That's a long time, but a quarter is not that long, you know. And I just think over the course of the game, you know, we're going to wear on them because it's the style we play, you know. And what Winnemac did was they tried to play our style, right? So for the first quarter and a half, I mean, it's a dogfight. I think we ended up being up by 3 at halftime, and I challenged the boys at halftime and said, hey, we went back and talked about, you know, these close wins at the end. And then I went back and talked about we played a bad half of basketball to our standards, and we're up, I think, 25-22 at halftime. So now it's important not to go out and let them know that we played a bad half, we made adjustments, and we're going to go out and we're going to take it to you guys. And the boys, like all year long, they've responded. I think we went out and went on a 34-11 run in the second half. We ended up getting up by 20. We pulled our starters out. They kept a couple guys in, which was fine. There were a couple guys close to 1,000 points for him. And I think he finished the game with a little 8-0, 9-0 run by himself against our JV, and we walked away with a 64-51 win. Scoring was really balanced, and that's been the key of the game, you know, lately. I mean, you know, Hunter had that big game against North Newton earlier, but really our scoring is Bentley's still leading our team in scoring at 17 a game, and Hunter's at 16.5. Nate's at 14. Jeffrey's been double figures the last 5 games. So I don't have my stats with me today, but they're all right around 13 or 12.
Boy, that's awesome balance, man.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable, you know. And we talk about, I've said it before a few times, that if you give anybody a coach who would take option 1 away, they could do it at this level. They can do it. Option 2, we can try to take it away, but you can't take option 3 or 4 away. It's impossible because you just don't have the athletes 1 through 5 to do that. You really don't. And defense is like, you have to want to play it. So usually your 4th or 5th defenders, he's 4th or 5th for a reason, because he may not love to play defense. So, but we got the job done. We went back in and we talked about that. And you know, I talked to the boys. That was on Thursday night. We came back to South Newton, and you know, I just have a really good feel for my boys. I really do. And usually we go down early with this, you know, and then I meet with them in the 4th quarter of the JV game with 3 to go. And I told them at South Newton, I'm like, I want to talk to you at halftime of the JV game, so just stay downstairs. And we had a really good talk, and I just felt like the boys were a little uptight. They're playing as if they, like, you know, they've got to live up to all these expectations. You know what I'm trying to say? They see what the girls have done. They've seen all these things, and everyone's gunning for them. And I took them back in the locker room and just tried to tell them that it's a game. I mean, it's a game. You know, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot right on it for everybody. You know, but at the end of the day, it's not going to define who you are. It's my opinion again. Once again, it's just an opinion. But I tried to stress that to the boys, and I shared a small video with them, and they just come out really loose against South Newton. And I love South Newton's team. Coach Sammons does a good job. Cruz, Will Boy, Sammons, you know, they've got some nice pieces. And we always talk about this too. You can't pay attention to score to game to game. And they're high school kids. Things change. Things happen. But we went out that game, and we just dominated from the tip. I mean, we just flat out dominated. We put 2 or 3 different presses on them. Wasn't even our normal press, and they struggled. They struggled the whole night. Kind of caught me off. So they've always played us so hard. And then I don't even know the breakdown by quarters, but I know we were just up big the whole time.
53-26.
53 was, and then Hunter Pogue and Bentley Bushman didn't even play the last 10 minutes of that game. So we were able to get a lot of guys in, and then just good things happen. Once again, balanced scoring. There's just not a lot I really remember of that game, other than the fact that we kind of did what we wanted, and it was kind of good after the game to see the boys respond to just playing loose, having fun, enjoying it. Because, you know, one thing I've said about this, you know, all these coaches always say, hey, Coach Sip, come and enjoy the ride. And, hey, I am. You know, we are. The community is. But, you know, the ride will end, regardless of where it's at. The ride will end, right? And we'll be back here before you know it next year talking about the new crop that comes in, right? So just enjoy it. And, you know, coming back from Tri-County last night, we always driving on mini buses, and the boys were having a good time on the bus. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Just enjoy that. So kind of different, but then go back to last night. I heard Coach Gretten talking a little bit, and
good first quarter.
It is a great first quarter, and we needed it. You know, that's a game where, you know, it's my responsibility to make sure the boys are ready to go, and you know, I thought that I did. but I need to do a better job because Coach Gretten had the boys on Tri-County side was amped up. It wasn't about records. It wasn't about who can do what. It's about this is Tri-County, this is North White. And Midwest Conference schools, we talk about different rivals. Really, every school within the conference is a rival. It really is, especially when you got Tri-County and Frontier and White County with us. But anyways, we went out and they were just beating our press. And they were beating it, and they were scoring, and we were matching. But this is where I've learned, like I said, this year. I looked at Coach Smith. I think it was like at the end of the first quarter, we're down 2. But I love the pace. I loved the pace. Tri-County wasn't holding the ball longer than 5 seconds. So I'm like, just keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And we, I think it was like 30-28 at one time. We were up by 2 with like 4 to go in the quarter or something, right for halftime. And I'm like, we're going to be up 50-30 at halftime. You could see it on the faces of our opponent, but ourselves, they were just getting physically tired. And we go up 44-30 at halftime, and still they were picking apart our 2-2-1, and they're just picking it apart, and it was driving me nuts. It was driving Coach Smith nuts. So we had to, with that, we want to give the sideline up. We want to give it up. We want the traps to come on the side, but you just can't physically turn like the Red Sea and just say go up the sideline. So we went back to practice today, and it's still got to be man-to-man on top. So we went back and fixed that, but and I said this a lot of times too. Coach Gretten really boxed Hunter last night. All out denied. With our depth and our ability, you can't really do that because, I think last night we had Nate Miller with 18, Jeffrey Stevens 14, Bentley 14, Dane Hood with 13 off the bench, the sophomore, and then Hunter with 12. So it was like, yes, you took him away, but we still finished with 77 points. But Hunter got going. We were able to get some things fixed, and I love seeing that. I love seeing someone take that away. It's been a long time since someone has. And, to give you the type of kid Hunter is, and this is what I tell people, I was like, man, he's a great kid, and we have so many great boys on our team. But it's 10 o'clock last night. We're in Wolcott in school night. He says, Coach, will you open the gym tomorrow in the morning? Will you let me come in and shoot in the morning? I'm like, I'm tired. That's my thought process. But I'm like, man, not many kids are going to do that. So we broke film down last night after I got home from Tri-County, and we looked at what Gretten did against him. And he was the only one that showed up today, and me and him, one-on-one, just took apart every type of shot you could take, and if you were being guarded a certain way. He probably put up 200 shots this morning. And that's just – and I sat there, and I was like – originally I was like, man, I don't really want to get up and do this. But then I was like realizing how much fun I was having because here's a kid that wants to get better, continue to get better. So I thought that was a cool testimony.
Don't have many of those kind.
No, and like I said, with the last few games, Jeffrey Stevens has double figure scoring on like 6 of 8 shooting, 7 of 9 shooting. We always said Jeffrey can get going. We're dangerous inside out. And I thought we're sharing the ball. If there was anything last night that I was disappointed in, I told Mark earlier tonight, we played we want to push them, right? But then we had 7 or 8 possessions where we didn't pass the ball. So we were putting up what I thought was bad shots. And usually in our break, we still know where our guys are running and where we're going to dump it to. And I just think that goes to just our legs being tired. I mean, I think now this makes 10 games in 16 days, 17 days. We're going to finish with 14 games, 15 games in like 28 days or something like that. I think even for their age, it is starting to wear. Our practice was like 45 minutes tonight, and that's just because we're going to go again maybe on Friday, Right.
So. Right.
Matt, how do teams? You see any defensive tendencies that other coaches throw at you a lot, or you see are there certain things? Do they double up your backcourt guys, or?
Coming out of timeouts, one of my favorite things coming out of timeouts is a different defense. Now, whether they score or not, earlier on, I'm still early in my coaching career, but earlier on the first year or two, I was really hesitant to make a mistake as a coach, right? Like, you don't want to switch it up. But, every time a timeout's being taken, they're drawing something against that defense. They just are. So you go out in a 1-3-1, a 3-2, a 2-3, something, and say, well, then maybe they score. Great. But what they spent the whole minute doing, it wasn't for what we did. So the tendency, we have a lot of teams that we expect runouts out of a timeout. We expect a different zone out of a timeout, and we just put the guys, okay, if they stay in man, this is what we're doing real quick, and then but expect this to happen and be in a 2-1-2, a 1-3-1, whatever, offensively, whatever we can be in to beat that. And so that just to have them ready for the different things they're going to see coming out of a timeout.
Well, Friday night, we'll be over at North White for weather permitting, of course, for West Central. What do you know about that?
Well, like I said, my son is a manager at West Central, my oldest son, and when we didn't play for a month, I got a chance to watch West Central play a lot, and seen them play 4 or 5 times. They got a win over Frontier the other day, which was pretty impressive last night. So they have some really quick guards. Number 2, I don't know his last name, but he loves to shake and bake. They got the Hubler boy inside. He's a good football player for him as well. And they've got some strong pieces, and I think they're just playing loose, having fun. They will run with us, so you're probably going to see the score at least our goal is, I think we'll be in the 80s. We may give up 60 or 70, and we're going to run. They'll run the whole game with us. They'll want to get up faster than us, and we'll invite that.
You like
we even last night we went half court man because I pride myself on our man, but it's just not our style. Tri-County is so much physically bigger than us, and Corbin and Doty, when we went half court man, they just pounded us, and it's like, okay, we can't do that, and why would we do that? You know what I'm saying? It's not working, but so we try to make wrinkles, and those wrinkles tell us that what we're doing, we're not going to change. So,
what's up after that then? The rest of the year here.
Obviously, good luck to our girls. I know Brian's going to talk in a minute. They're playing in the semi-state over in Logansport at 4 p.m. on Saturday, so we're actually going to take the boys over early for dinner in Logansport. But our Pioneer game got pushed back to 8 p.m. start varsity on Saturday, so we're going to go to Logansport, watch the girls play. And it's just a 12-mile drive up to Royal Center from there. So then we play Pioneers in our sectional opponent. They're 5-13, but they're in about every ball game. They're very much guard-oriented, just a little younger. So scrappy. They'll be right there in the mix of things at sectional time. And then we finish the season with Frontier at home on Tuesday for our senior night. I know North Newton's sitting there with 1 conference loss. I think they have South Newton left. So we need to win Friday and then
Tri-County too.
Tri-County. They play Tri-County.
Yeah. Okay. So that's right. And we'll need to play West Central this Friday, and then more than likely we'll have to win Frontier on Tuesday night, the 22nd, to win it outright. And really, these conference scores have been so crazy. A team gets beat by 7 or 8, and then they turn around and beat a team by 10 the next night. So Frontier's one of those up and down teams. We don't match up the best with them. They got a Hoover boy and I can't think of the number 22's name right offhand, but physically strong boy on the inside, Schroeder. So we got Hoover and Schroeder, and that's a rivalry game. You always hear that term, but it really is a rivalry game. So a lot of fun basketball with a few games left to go.
Sectional draw, of course, and I know you always said March 5th. That's the date you're looking for, right?
Yeah, same situation as last year. We played really well against our conference teams. We played really well, and our conference teams, like Mark said, is our sectionals, pretty much with we got Caston thrown in there, obviously. But the draw, if you ask me, what I want to do with the draw, it really doesn't matter. I know different coaches have philosophies. Are there teams that I would like to play first? Absolutely. Are there teams I'd like to see play each other first? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I don't care if it's Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, you got to get out and you play. Would I like to buy? Yeah. I think there's advantages to both. I really do, because I've had the buy, haven't had the buy, and I've learned that no matter if you're the favorite or you're not the favorite, regardless of who you are, there's butterflies involved. And you play that Tuesday night game, you shake some of those off, and then on Friday you don't really see many of them against the 2 teams that played Tuesday. Where that first game of the 2 teams that had the bye, you'll see 3 or 4 minutes of that, but you're also getting the rest. If you had to win 3 games in 5 days, you will feel the effects on Saturday with your legs. So advantages to both, if you ask me, and you just go out, you deal with what you got, and you work with what you got.
Quick update on the JV Cavs or Vikes.
We finally got everyone together. We've been missing 1 guard all year, but we've won 2 in a row. We beat South Newton, a hard-fought 27-22 game, and then we beat Tri-County last night. Probably played our best game of the season. And as we transition, I think we won by 18 last night with JV. So I think we won like 5 games on the year, but last 2 in a row. Have an opportunity to get, I think, 3 more wins with them coming up with the next 3. And as I've been transitioning over to next year a little bit, I've really been working more with the JV, and I've been preaching to those boys about everybody talks about our offense. We get offense. Well, our offense is predicated on our defense. And if you watch North White basketball from the varsity standpoint, you see 4 guys that want to play defense. They're going to get up in your face, and they're going to pressure you. And I've been trying to get my guys to realize that my JV guys, what makes them JV, they score pretty well. They just can't have trouble keeping the ball in front of them, right? So we've really been working hard on understanding how to have your footwork and driving angles cut off and whatnot. And I'm excited about, not only this year, but some of the pieces we have coming back next year from that team.
Matt, we'll see you Friday night, hopefully.
All right. Thank you. Sounds good.
Thanks, all right. Matt Sipkema from the North White Vikings. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Finding yourself in need of a quick repair or realize your home needs a good amount of updating? Who should I call? Call Make It Better Contracting for your solutions. They find time for new builds, remodels, and additions. Even when the roof leaks, your kitchen needs to be bigger, or you need another bathroom. Make It Better Contracting is your full-service contractor. If you own a project home that is in need of a lot of work, Make It Better Contracting is interested in purchasing your home. Call today at 219-863-0851. Together, we can make it better.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Back at Arnie's on the Coach's Show. Scotty Miller on the board. Jeff Gastineau with the camera operations tonight. Bill Kay and Bob Kurtz with you on co-hosting. Brandon Bradley has joined us now from the Kankakee Valley Lady Cougars. Finished up the year with a sectional championship loss. And Brandon, thanks for coming down. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. Well, let's just briefly recap the sectional for us and on what happened there.
Well, Tuesday night played a pretty solid New Prairie team. They're in a big conference up there, and they're used to really good competition, and they play extremely hard. They've just got really good, strong kids that, they cut hard, they screen hard. They've got a girl inside that was real physical. She had 10 offensive rebounds against us, so we had 11 total as a team. And,
jeez.
So she was just kind of a bull inside, and I got a couple guards that shoot it pretty well, but I thought we did a nice job. It was a close game for about 3.5 quarters, and then, about the last 4 or 5 minutes, we kind of separated, whether it was just an easy layup or hitting free throws down the stretch. Friday night, turnaround played host Knox at Knox.
Yeah.
And, with 2 days of no practice, nothing.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And so, that was a concern. But also, we had beaten them last year in the sectional, and then beaten them early in the year around Thanksgiving's weekend and at their place. So we knew they were going to want to play us. We knew that was going to be a pretty good battle, and it was physical throughout. I thought we did a lot of really good things in that game. They did too down the stretch. We kind of stretched it out. It was about 7, 8, 9 points even at times, and a couple things happened towards the end. We missed some free throws, and they cut it to 4 at the very end. We had a bad turnover, like up 6 with like maybe 20 seconds left, and we just get sloppy with it trying to inbound it, and they cut it to 4 pretty quick. But we got the job done. Survive and advance at that point.
Sure.
And then Saturday night, we were a little flat. I think the emotion of Friday night really took a lot out of us.
Now, who'd you play Saturday?
Culver Academy.
Culver Academy.
They've got a 6-foot girl that's going to Division I Lipscomb, and she was strong, physical, aggressive, but she could also handle the ball. See over traps. She hit a couple threes. It's tough. We had a lot of foul trouble trying to manage, and on top of it, they scored more points at the line than we scored in the game, so that makes it really difficult. But,
yes.
We'll leave it at that. We, I guess, need to stop fouling as much. So,
fouling really, it hasn't been a terrible issue all year, has it? For your spot?
I would say if you looked at our averages on the season, we were probably outshot by 6 or 8 free throws a game on average. Yeah, and and that's, to be honest, a lot of that's on us. We've got to be more physical as a team, especially offensively. We've got to be stronger with the ball on the perimeter. We talked about that early in the year. I thought we improved. And it's not a toughness thing. I think we do a lot of tough things in other categories. I felt like we just need to be a more physical team. We need to seek contact instead of absorb contact, if that makes sense. And that's something we could be better at. So,
16-10 season. What are your thoughts on the overall?
I tend to compare it to where you were to where you are. And while I wasn't here last year, not having a summer, not having a fall, we still managed to win 3 more games than a year ago on a tougher schedule. I know they played a couple of opponents last year as makeup games just to get some games in. And we actually played a couple more, like Chesterton, they didn't play a year ago, people like that. So Portage, they didn't play a year ago because of cancellations and whatnot. I thought we did a nice job there. We actually scored about a point more a game than a year ago, gave up, I think, a point and a half less a game than a year ago, so we kind of flipped that around a little bit. We've been having individual player reviews all week where we bring them in, kind of go over their season as an individual, talk about, maybe 2 or 3 focal points for the off season, and then kind of look at their ceiling and their floor for next season, where they could be. And that's kind of how we tell it to them, and just kind of see what, get some feedback from them as well. And, they're pretty happy. A lot of them like some of the things, the changes we made this year, and really encouraging a lot of the talks that we've had. We've encouraged them to bring their parents in with them, and about half of them have, and that's been good interaction too, parents asking good questions and giving them that opportunity. So, but we're very clear with our message and what we want to do. And
what do you expect of the girls in the summertime? And
from what I've been told, they're pretty committed as long as there's not a lot of conflicts. If they have to choose between which sport to go to because open gyms overlap or something, then it's tough on them. But if you can find a time or a space where it's just you, then they'll be there. And so I'm really encouraged by that. We're going to do everything we can to make that work into their schedules. And
do you have a KV team play, or have the girls play as a team in the summer in any kind of leagues?
What I've done in the past, they've done their thing, and I'll learn more about that here in the next couple weeks for sure. But what I've done in the past is I've been more of a fan of, we're going to have some scheduled, probably like 2 or 3 a week practices / workouts where we work on a lot of individual skill development. We review a little bit of team stuff, but we build skill based on our team stuff. And then I like to do the shootout thing, and I like to do the shootout thing that's not in your backyard. I'd rather go play good teams that we don't see on our regular season schedule. One year when I was at Whitco, we went all the way down to southern Indiana to USI, and as a 2A school, we played like 4A Evansville Central and 3A Memorial and 4A Castle and teams like that, and it was very beneficial over those 2 days to play 5 teams like that. I've been at Indiana Wesleyan before. They bring in about 40 teams to their shootout, and you can kind of pick which pool you want to be in based on what you think your roster looks like for the next year. And I've been in the top pool, I've been in the middle pools, just depending on our rosters of which school I was at. And so I'm kind of a fan of those things, and we like to couple one of those things with like a neat trip. Maybe we go to Kings Island or something like that, and just
Sure.
let loose for a day, let them have a lot of fun, ride some roller coasters.
Yeah, there you go.
So
we're talking with Brandon Bradley, the Kankakee Valley girls coach. last chance to talk with you here. We always let you talk about your senior. Didn't have very many this year. Just talk about them if you would.
Yeah, we had two. Marissa Howard, tough kid, plays hard all the time. Was kind of like our mom on the team, I guess you could say. She kind of looked after all the other girls, and she was a shoulder for them to lean on. And that's going to be something that's going to be desperately missed by him. Somebody's going to have to step up into that role. And but she really had some moments in games where she grab a big rebound, make a big basket.
I thought she played real well against Rensselaer.
Yeah,
I know it was a tough game for you, but
she was one of those kids who she found her niche early in the season. We weren't sure what her role was going to be if at all extensive, and she ended up carving out a role. I think she averaged probably a dozen to 15 minutes a game off the bench, and would always come in with energy. Like I said, make a hustle play, and she had a couple games of 7, one of 8. And like those are point contributions when, especially as an opposing coach, you don't go in planning on that happening. And for her to make up some of that in games was huge. And she's incredibly intelligent kid. She's going to get a lot of academic help going wherever she goes, and just really proud of her attitude, her effort, and what she brought to the team. And then Taylor Schoonville, obviously a talented athlete, going to IU for track and field. And
was hurt when we saw her at the end. Is she okay now? Or?
Yeah, she when we got back from Christmas break, she hurt her ankle in a practice. She tried to play at Lake Central, and then the second game that week against Judson, she hurt it 4 minutes in, and it was really bad. She crumpled to the floor. She missed 4 games after that, and then she got released just before the sectional. So she actually played in all 3 sectional games and is doing track already. So, she said there's no lingering effects. She feels a lot better now.
Good.
But we were worried because it's her plant foot.
Sure.
And
was she back up to full strength in the sectional?
Yeah, she looked. I mean, she had some moments, man, where you just saw that explosion and that burst out of her. She had one game where she kind of took over the fourth quarter, had about 10 points. I believe that might have been the New Prairie game, but it was either New Prairie or Knoxville. They all run together at this point. But, we just kept feeding her the ball right in the high post every time, and she either scored it or got to the free throw line. But, I think the thing that people, you see a great athlete, that's where your mind goes. And she is such a quality person as well, like Marissa. And I told her, I hope you don't take your athleticism for granted. Like, I hope your friends don't take you for granted, because you're such a good teammate, such a good kid. And, she's always quiet. She just works hard. She's a leader by example. And she'll be successful, where both of them will be successful wherever they go. So
that leads into the future of KV girls basketball next year. What do you think?
We met after the sectional as a team, and we kind of planned out the season. And I won't tell you all the details, but we set goals and expectations. And we've got a nice nucleus coming back. Hopefully 4 starters, especially once Abby Grandchamp gets healthy. She had her ACL surgery.
Right.
And
she was missing
she missed 15 games this year.
Yeah.
And we were 7-8 without her. And
yeah.
I know she wasn't a huge stat kid, but you don't understand. I think a lot of people on the outside don't get how much like an energy kid she was. She was always that motivator. She did a hustle play, and everybody, their level went up, and she wasn't afraid to talk to people, and tell them how it was and what they needed to fix. And, and it was her leadership in that regard was missed. Absolutely. So, but, we've got those 4 back. We had some other kids, get some major minutes off the bench this year that are underclassmen. And our JV team was 17-3 this year, and they had mostly sophomores with 1 freshman playing with them, and so we've got a lot to build upon and be happy about going into next year. And I think the biggest part of it though is we've been talking about how now I get a spring and I get a summer with them, and come first practice at the end of October, we're going to be revisiting what we finished and picking up from there. Not spending a month teaching new things. We'll have kinks, we'll have twists, we'll have new little ideas within, but we're going to be pretty consistent within our program. And, they'll feel that much more comfortable from day one. And while a lot of teams on our schedule, have some significant graduation losses, and especially early in our season, and that's going to really affect them.
Is there, if you'd have to say one factor or the top factor that you want to see next year's girls improve on from this year's team, what would it be? Just to help your success rates.
You know, what I would say is understand what you are. Because I think there were times this year where they weren't asking. They were looking for permission to just be and just do and just, you know, and we've been encouraging, be yourselves, man. Go have an opinion, have emotion, you know, make a play. Like, and I think that you know, we got there better down the stretch where they felt more comfortable. And you know, hey, if you're going to go make a play, go make a play. I'm not going to be upset about that. Just make a good, smart basketball decision, you know, and I think they got more and more comfortable with that. And so I think next year, especially with we'll have 5 seniors, you know, we'll have a slew of juniors. I mean, yeah, you got to go into every game, man. Hey, we're winning this game. You're not going to take this from us. So, you know, we've got to go in as the favorite as much as possible in our minds, more so than on paper, you know, and you know, we looked at this season. You know, coming into this year, I felt like there were 3 opponents specifically, and again, I won't mention them now, but that it was going to be a real struggle to match their talent, match their coaching, their system, their program, all that kind of stuff. I think next year, you know, we don't feel like that as much. You know, there might be one on there, but it's not throughout the schedule. It's you know, we feel much more confident about each matchup. So,
what was it like for you your first year at KB here?
Oh, I had to love the kids. Absolutely love the kids. I mean, you know, you talk all the time about everywhere. I mean, coaches, you know, you always have a kid or two where you're like, God, I hope they're in a good mood today, you know, and we don't have those kids. In fact, we've got them on the flip side where you're like, oh, I can't wait to see such and such today because she's either going to say or do something funny, you know, and so's this one and so's this one, and you get it from everywhere, man. They're just great kids, well-mannered. You know, parents should be proud and are. And you know, our parent support was tremendous. I appreciate that, of course. You know, just going through our office staff, you know, Mr. Gray, Mr. Mueller. Mary Carderas was in her first year as our administrative assistant in the office, and she did a phenomenal job. Our trainer, Vanessa, keeping us upright. You know,
Sure.
I have 26 girls. I can't tell you, I could probably count on one hand how many didn't see her at some point this year, which is unfortunate. But, you know, we kind of tease each other back and forth. Our student section was great, you know, at all home games, and they were in full force at the sectional. You know, our general fans, you know, we get a good turnout. You guys were there for a couple of our games, and the gyms, it feels like a college environment at times. You know, our band is great, loud, you know, and they do a nice job. Our cheerleaders are loud and full force. I mean, there's like 120 of them, I think. I mean, they're everywhere, you know, and so it's just really neat to be in that environment again. You know, when I was at Whitco and we got into winning, we'd go to a sectional those last 2 or 3 years, and we'd fill half the gym. You know, like, well, no, you guys get that corner.
Yeah.
You know, we're splitting it in foot. Well, we got all these people, man. Where do you want them to sit? You know, and it's funny because you got like this group and this group and this group and our half, and like I felt that this year, you know, and so hopefully next year they'll continue to come out and in even bigger numbers, and as we get more and more comfortable in this COVID environment, we can get a lot bigger traveling crowd. But you know, had a blast and just look forward to building the program. I've already been to a number of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade games, and those kids down there are working hard and getting better, and our numbers are really good. And you know, we're just waiting to see if we're going to end up in 4A again. So
Well, it's that time of year again. The
Yeah.
classification coming out.
I think March or April is when they'll start announcing that kind of stuff.
You're always
and,
hovering right around that line,
yeah.
aren't you?
So
Is it going to be close?
Well,
Like,
always is.
You
isn't
can
it?
tell us? Or?
no, I have no
You don't.
idea, but I'll say this. There have been discussions about a number of discussions, and I don't know how many of them are serious, but they have been discussions amongst the IGCA and the IBCA and other committees, the Athletic Directors Association. There's been conversations about a 5th class. There have been conversations about splitting each class by enrollment, not just splitting it evenly. So there have been all kinds of, and then there have been conversations about just redoing it all like it is now, but splitting it in 4 again. So they're kind of weighing all their options, seeing what they want to do right now. But I would imagine there will be some type of change going into next season.
Brandon, appreciate you coming down when you could here. I know you've had some problems off the court there, but we do appreciate it, and we welcome you to the area, and have a good off season. And we'll see you next year, okay?
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All
Appreciate
right.
all the support.
Thanks, Brandon.
All that
Brandon
you guys
Bradley
do.
from the Kankakee Valley Lady Cougars. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
For compassionate veterinary care, you can count on Rensselaer Pet Care. Dr. Jan Mallory and Dr. Nick Mallory are now seeing patients at their new facility located at 1370 St. Gaspar Drive North in Rensselaer behind Walmart. We treat your pet like a member of the family. From wellness exams and vaccines to complex surgical procedures, your dog or cat will receive high-quality care at our hospital. Boarding is also available. For more information or to check hours of operation, contact Rensselaer Pet Care at 219-866-4671.
Coach's Cage show rolls on here from Arnie's in Rensselaer. We're very pleased that this gentleman could join us here tonight. He's a very busy man, Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings. Brian, congratulations. What a postseason so far for you guys.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a fun ride, and we hope we can keep it going another week yet.
Well, where do you want to start? Sectional?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I know I missed a couple weeks here, but, we ended the season strong. We won our conference, and then we went into sectional, and the sectional was kind of weather-wise kind of messed. Things were messed up there, but we started off with South Newton and got a win against them, and then we knew the Caston team was going to be one that was going to be a battle. Their physical team. We had played them early in the season, the second game of the year, and had beaten them at our place, and I knew they were missing a girl when we played them, and we were missing Annis when we had played them early in the season as well. But we came out in that game to start the game. It was, I think we were just really amped up. It was our place, big home crowd. They had a good crowd too, and I think started the game, we were just missing shots left and right. I mean, it was just getting good looks, but they just were strong and things like that. And I think they got out to a 10-2 lead early, and then we finished on a 5-0 run to end the quarter, so it was 10-7 after one. And then the second quarter, we really played well. Outscored them 12-5. Defensively, we really stepped it up and went into halftime with that lead. And our girls just played well. Team basketball again all year. That's been kind of our MO. We've just had different girls step up throughout the year, making big plays, and that game, in that sectional game, it was no different. Defensively, everybody played well. Offensively, they really made a concentrated effort on stopping our posts. Kate and Tessa, and Hannah and Abigail. Abigail really had a good first half for us. She ended up with 13 on the night, and Hannah had 12. But I think from Hannah's career-wise, that was probably one of her best games of her career. She had 12 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 turnover, and she was the point for us the whole night. And they pressured her pretty much from half court or a little beyond the entire night. And to have 7 assists and 1 turnover against that pressure was tremendous. She had 7 8 from the free throw line and 6 of 6 in the fourth quarter when we were trying to put the game away. And so just a tremendous leadership from her. And Cammie Scott came off the bench and hit a big 3 in the third quarter for us, and that was her 3 points for the game. But she had those were big points at that point. We got up 9, and then they made a 9-0 run and tied it up 31-31, and then we were able to get it. I think Kate got a steal and was able to get a 3-point play. I don't think she hit the free throw, but then we were just kind of able to build it from there. But it was a great win. Sectional win on your home court is very fun to do. And the week before, the girls, we had played Frontier at home and won the conference. And they were celebrating that and stuff. And I told the girls, we got back in our meeting room, I said, next week we want to be doing this again. I said, girls, it'll feel 10 times better when you do it in the sectional. This is a good feeling, but I said it's going to feel. And I asked them, that same question that night. I said, so how does that feel that much? And by far, that was the unanimous feeling, that it felt that much better to do the celebration on that night. And it was a fun thing to do.
The last time these guys lost, Bill, January 13th.
Oh my gosh,
that's the last game they've lost.
Wow,
that's quite a run.
I know you guys had confidence this season coming in, but have you any? Is it settled in yet? How you're still? I guess it's probably tough when you're still rolling and preparing for games, but how well this has gone.
Yeah, it has. We started off the season really well. We had went 12-1, and then we lost 5 in a row there. And
battling some tough injuries.
The Rensselaer game early, that one we had two people are starting right now out in that game. I think that one we had told them at that point. This one means nothing in the whole scheme of things. Just keep building and learning from it. We went through a stretch there. Those 5 losses that we had at that point too. Or
you've only lost 6 the whole year. You lost 5 in a row.
Yeah, it was the Twin Lakes team that was playing. They played very well all year. In the sectional, they got beat, I think 3 times by the same BC team, and then that's who they got beat in the sectional. Who only lost 2 games all year. So
right.
That was a tough one. We played them very well. I thought the second time just couldn't get it done. Clinton Prairie was a sectional winner who we lost to twice, and then Carroll was a sectional winner as well that we lost to. So I felt like our losses were very competitive teams. We just didn't play well enough on those nights. But every time we lost, we talked about those. We said it's just building for the end, and the girls have fought hard here at the end.
Let's go to the regional then.
Yeah, so we took on Couts, who the very very solid team, very physical team, and offensively they had a Capuch girl who was averaging about 18 going into that game. They had a post player, senior, averaging about 10, and then they had a couple other girls that could shoot as well. And we went into it playing. We were going to play a little 3-2 zone, trying to just match up with their perimeter, and then which start the game, they hit 2 threes right away. They were up, and then I think they hit a 2 as well. Got up 8-0, I believe, and then we hit a 3, and I called a timeout, and I said, we're playing man the rest of the game, and we got to shut them down. And to the girls' credit, they played very well from that point on. Lauren Annis had a huge game for us. She offensively and defensively. Offensively, she ended up with 17 points, 3 of 6 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. But on the defensive end, she was the one we put on the Capuch girl the rest of the game, and she hit a 3 there in that first 2 minutes, didn't hit one the rest of the game. I think she ended with 15 points on the night, so 3 below her average. And Lauren just played a heck of a game, and the rest of the team did too. It was team defense, but offensively, Abigail had 14, Kate had 16. So I mean, we had 3 girls in double figures. Both of Tessa and Kate had 7 rebounds. And then off the bench, I thought Callie Hunt had two big buckets, but she had 6 rebounds, and she had 2 really big steals in the game. Tessa was in foul trouble, and she picked up her 4th foul, I think, late in the 3rd quarter, and Callie came in and was playing for her, and just very big on the defensive end, and that's what we've had all year. Somebody big has stepped off the bench too when we get somebody that gets in foul trouble, and Hannah had another great game handling the basketball. She had 7 assists again. And Couch puts a lot of pressure on you, but we were able to, we got the lead at the half, and then just kind of hung on to it. We could never get it really, where we put it away, but we kept it out of reach. And at the end of the game, they were fouling, and we were able to knock down some free throws. I mean, we went 12 of 15 from the line, so 80%. Team-wise, you cannot complain about that. And so we were able to, put the game away and move on. I mean, that's what we've talked to the girls from the start of the sectional is, it doesn't matter how it gets done. You just got to win. I mean, you just win by 1, you win by 10, whatever. As long as you have more points than they do, you're playing in the next game. And the girls did that, and so then we kind of hung around, went out to eat, and went to
morning game.
Yeah, that was a morning game. We stayed, watched the second game a little bit, and then they went to eat, and then we had some hotel rooms there in Rochester to stay, and came back that night to take on an Argus team that had, that second game was, exciting game too, because it was back and forth. Argus led early, and then Blackhawk, I think, had an 11-point lead in the 3rd quarter. Argus made a run, went up by 5, and then the rest of the way it was just back and forth. I mean,
You kind of like that as a opposing coach, right?
Well, it really was, especially, we obviously had a tough physical game, and we had some girls that were really tired, and it helps, when you're playing those 2 games in a day, that other team gets that, they have to put that energy
Was that an
into
overtime
it.
game? Or?
No, it came down to the last few seconds, though. I mean, Argus was able to hit a shot and then didn't get a stop at the other end, and so yeah, it does. You want something like that,
sure.
Because we had some girls that were physically spent a little bit, and were able to get the rest and get back at it that night. And a lot of times those games, those second games of those regionals, you never know what's going to happen just because of that reason. I mean, you're not going to play probably the same as you did, if you were well rested, and
scores aren't going to be as high. And
yeah, I mean, just a lot of things. And so it was we came out, we got a couple buckets early, and defensively we thought we could zone them and shut them down, and I think they had 3 points for a long period of time.
What is the zone you play there? It's kind of like a 1-1-2, or
we
2-3,
played a 3-2, and then we played a 2-3. I mean, we've done both, and we really, out of our 2-3, we really like to try to match up with people too. I mean, not just make it just where you're just sitting there. We like them to be very active in it,
right,
and match up with them, so it becomes, there's a lot of man principles to it as well. And I thought our girls did a pretty good job. We talked to them about being able to move their feet and get out on people, and so it was 10-3, 12-3 for a very long time. We were missing shots, they were missing shots, and it was just one of those things that in those second games, you don't have legs. We told the girls, you really need to try to penetrate, get the ball inside, those types of things, and go at them, because those are the things that are going to, in those games, probably, get you going. And Lauren, like I said, she had a big game in the morning one. She couldn't hit a shot. She couldn't buy one. It was just, she had a lot of open looks, but I think her legs were gone from that morning game, and she was just wasn't hitting. But she played well defensively. Tessa had been in foul trouble that morning game, so I thought she was gonna. She didn't play as many minutes as some of our other girls, and I thought she just looked a little quicker out there than some. And she led us in scoring with 10. and had 9 rebounds, and Kate Kahn had 9 points and 15 rebounds. I mean, Kate, excuse me, Kate was somebody that kept us going really in that first half. She, excuse me, she was just on the boards, was all over the place. I mean, she's just got, sometimes when people are tired, she's not. She's just always got energy, and she was getting, I mean, she ended up with 6 offensive rebounds and was all over the place and created a lot of extra possessions for us. And so that was huge for us. Callie Hunt came off the bench again, had one that took, she had 2 points, but I mean, she took it right at him right away. Defensively, I thought she played well. And in the third quarter, it was kind of, couldn't get it over that 7-8 point range, and they were in a 1-3-1 and kind of leaving the corners open. And Lauren was, she, like I said, she was struggling a little bit from the field, and decided to put Cammie Scott in because she is very, she's very good at hitting those outside shots. I mean, that's what she does, and she was able to get a couple open ones in the corner, hit two possessions in a row, hit 2 threes and knocked them down, and kind of stretched the lead out. We were, got it up to 12-13, and the fourth quarter we were able to just, spread them out, not let them back in it, and they didn't really foul. Like I said, we were 5 of 8 from the free throw line, so they didn't really come out and foul us. We were able to just run some clock and, put the victory away. It was low scoring, 36-26, but that fourth quarter just seemed like both teams kind of just ran a lot of clock. I mean, I think the first half we missed a lot of shots, but especially the fourth quarter, it was just both teams running clock, and I thought our girls did a good job of spreading the ball, keeping it away from them, and knocking, like I said, knocking the shots down when we did, and another good team effort, and we're moving on.
What was the feeling like to win a regional championship? First time ever.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great feeling. I told the girls, I had been in, we had a few of those with 3 in a row there. We were in the regional championship a few years ago and weren't able to get over the hump. And I was in one at West Central as well when I was a boys coach, and it was nice to finally get over the hump and get one of those. And the girls, I felt so proud of them. I mean, they've done it all year. I mean, they listen and have just. They never give up. I mean, they just keep fighting and keep playing, and very unselfish girls, and very proud of them, and I was glad that they could accomplish that. So,
is there any talk? I just don't understand the regional scenario. Why you have to play 2 games in one day? Why do that? Why can't you play a Friday night and a Saturday? And what's the reasoning behind?
Well, I'm sure it has to do probably with travel, but I mean years ago when it was one class, you played regional, semi-state, and state 2 games. So I mean that's what they always did. So
right.
I mean I was telling the girls that that day, and they kind of looked at me like I was crazy, but I said in one class that's what you did. I mean every round was like that. Right. So I mean I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You got to be used to it. And I mean, a lot of these tournaments that you play during the year, the holiday tournaments, I know the one we're in, the Twin Lakes one, I know our boys are in one. You play 2 games in a day, and that kind of prepares you a little bit for that if you get the chance to do that. And when any of these kids that are playing in AAU, I mean, they're playing multiple games in a day. I don't think I think probably the biggest thing is the travel. I mean, going back and you take a team like Fort Wayne Blackhawk who was in ours. I mean, that's a long way to travel.
Right.
Come if they were playing on a Friday night and then had to turn around and come back on Saturday to those types of things. But no, fun times. Very proud of the girls.
And season's not over with. You semi-state Saturday. Where is it? When is it? And you're playing Central Catholic, right?
Yeah, we're playing Central Catholic. Very solid team. Play over at Logansport at the Berry Bowl at 4 p.m.
That's not a big long drive for you guys.
No, not for us. I mean, we were out of the 4 teams that are coming into that, and they're playing. Those are separate sessions. But I mean, the 1A is playing at 4, and then the 4A teams are playing at 7. But yeah, I think we're the closest. you got and then Central Catholic is not far behind us. I mean,
right.
I think there was only about a 6-7 mile difference between the two of us getting there. I mean,
Do you go practice there? Or?
Yeah, we actually went there this afternoon. We practiced there from 3 to 4:30 over there, and had a good practice. We went through some things. With the weather coming in right now, predicted to come in tomorrow, and who knows what's going to happen tomorrow and Friday, what we're going to be able to get in. So we kind of went over some things that normally we probably would have got a little more shots up over there than we did. We still got plenty in, but we went through some walkthrough some stuff too, just to start going through scouting report and what we needed to do against them, just in case we can't meet in person here the next day or two, which is inconvenient, but I mean, I've told the girls all year, you got to expect it and just kind of go with it. I mean, we've fought injuries and types of things like that all year, and you just go with the flow, and you just be ready to play.
Tell us about Central Catholic.
They're a very solid team. I think they're like 23-4, very guard oriented. They're, I think, size-wise, our two posts, kind of have the advantage, but they're very fast. I mean, they're probably going to be one of the quickest teams we played all year. They've got some really nice shooters. Deneen, the senior, and Thompson, junior, can shoot from all over the floor. The Cherry girl, I think she's going to play. She's a senior, going to play soccer in college. Very fast, quick girl. They're going to pressure you, get after you, full court and a half court, and we're going to have to handle that pressure and try to get them in that half court game if we can, and take advantage of our size. That's going to be something that we're going to try to do, and that's kind of the things. You just try to get the matchups, and hopefully take advantage of the matchups you have, and hopefully don't let them get those things that the advantages they have. And but they're a very fast team, very quick team, and so we're going to have to be able to be strong with the basketball and handle it, and then go from there.
They like to run transition, don't they? A lot. I'm trying to remember.
We saw them play against Rensselaer.
Game.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were on the fast break an awful lot.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I said they're very guard oriented, and they've got, like I said, a couple seniors and a junior, and then they've got a couple good freshmen too. I mean, the Barrett girl, and
Central Catholic always a Barrett.
Yeah,
that's always that's standard.
And so I mean, very talented group. But I feel like we have a talented group as well. So I mean, we're hoping to go over there and move on. That's what I've told the girls here for a couple of weeks ago, is the goal is just to move on. Doesn't matter how you get it done. Let's just try to get it done, and be practicing one more week.
How's their attitude? How's the girls' attitude?
Good. I mean, they're very, it's been a very positive week, and it has to be. I mean,
sure.
You win your first regional, title in school history, and, I think they have a very good attitude and going into this week, and, we'll see what happens.
A lot of fun stuff going on at North White this week.
Yeah, it is. They had some dress-up days this week just to kind of celebrate it, and then, I think there's some stuff planned for Friday as well. One thing I want to give a shout-out to is our crowd, our parents, our band, cheerleaders, our student section. I mean, all of them last week were tremendous, in our sectional and regional games. But I mean, we had a tremendous crowd over there, and our band has done a tremendous job with Leander Hoover directing that, and but our student section has been great. I mean, they've great following over there, and
all that stuff together kind of gives your teams an advantage, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it does. I think we'll have a good following again on Saturday as well, and I'm sure CC will too. But it's just it just makes for a fun atmosphere, and you get it over there, and hopefully that gets us going. I mean, you feed off that. That's what I told the girls on that regional final game, was just when you're tired, let that feed off the energy of the crowd. That's the big thing. So
Well, Brian, we'll let you go and go get them Saturday, and we'll chat with you next week, okay?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, and we'll see what we can do.
All right. Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Coach's Cage program on 3kgthecage.com and on Facebook at 3kg The Cage Community Broadcasting. Bill Shepard has stepped behind the microphone now, coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. We had their game last night and victory against Rensselaer. Billy, thanks for coming down. How you doing?
Thanks for good. Thanks for having me.
All right, we got a lot of games to talk about. Some good, some bad, so take it away.
Well, we'll get the bad out of the way first. Last Thursday night, 6 days ago, that is, we hosted Twin Lakes at our place. And Twin Lakes, coached by Ken Adams, I mean, they're a good program. They do things really, really well. Play a 3-2 zone that we knew that we were going to be going against all night long, and we worked against it and stuff during the week. And we just for whatever reason don't play very well against Twin Lakes. And even though we think we have things, advantages and situations that we feel like we want, Twin Lakes just always seems to outplay us a little bit. And they did that night as well, beating us 59-50 on our home court. It was just one of those games where we just hung around, and just never was able to take the lead. As you guys covered the game, I thought we settled way too much for 3-point shots that night against their zone, and instead of getting inside. And not even just the 3-point shots itself, but not even attempting to get the ball inside before you shoot it.
It seemed like you have Mikash running the baseline with so many quick opportunities, and nobody'd spot him.
Yeah, and actually the day before in practice, we worked on that. It was like their weak part of the zone we thought was that short corner area that we could hit the wing and hit down there to Mikash and maybe have our, Sampson or Days, whoever would be at the high post, dive in there and attack the paint that way a little bit. Or Mikash dribbles, and he can work the baseline pretty well with the basketball himself. And it's just, after we did that a couple times early, but then we just went away from it and just never really got back to understanding to do that, no matter how much you're being told. And they just kind of we're kind of doing this now and this will work eventually. Well, eventually never happened. And I know we made 7 threes that night, but we had to shoot 30. And it was just one of those where that's just way too many threes to be thrown up against the zone. That's what the zone wants you to do, is just pass the ball around the perimeter and shoot it. And that's what we did, and we kind of played right into their hands. I mean, we did tie it at 28 one time. I think Cam Webster hit a 3, and we tied it at 28. And I mean, all the coaches were just about ready to fall over because we hit a shot, and it was just one of those deals. But then Twin Lakes comes down and goes on a 5-0 run. They hit a 3, we turn it over, and they lay it in, and it was just one of those where we could just never get the lead. I wonder what would have happened if we did get it. Would we have finally snapped back into it and started playing the way we talked about how we wanted to play? But I mean, the defense kept us in it, but just our inability to do what we wanted to do offensively and to do what we worked on just really, really cost us that night. And it is what it is, and you just hope you can learn from those types of games and get better. I just hate seeing that though, because I mean, it just shows maybe a lack of focus on our part is, taking 24 hours earlier, going over exactly diagramming exactly where you got to hit this zone at, and going over it and just losing your mind and not doing it. That's just not focused.
But then you did have nice rebounds though.
Yeah. We the very next day we went to Hebron, and literally on the board, I think I wrote the word attack probably 6 times on the board underneath the offensive column. It was just, listen, I'm tired of watching you guys chuck these shots. We're gonna get the ball in the paint one way or another. Whether it's gonna be feed the post or whether it's gonna be attacking via the drive. We're gonna get the ball in the paint. And I'm just tired of watching us shoot poorly from the outside and not making any type of individual adjustment to that. And I'm like, if I got to tell you what we're going to do, then that's just, if I got to set rules, then we're just going to set rules. And Hebron, we did make 3 threes, but we only shot 10. We attacked and attacked and attacked in the paint, and we shot 62.5% on the game, which. That's outstanding, but that's what you do when you get close-in shots all the time, or that's what you would expect. We shot 80% actually in the second half.
Wow.
Had another one of those third quarters where we were 9 for 9. I think you guys covered a game where we were 11 for 11 in the third, right?
Yeah.
One time. So we had another one of those third quarters where we were 9 for 9. And, it was just one of those where, we're going to get the ball in the paint. And, yeah, we might shoot a kick-out 3, but that ball is going to get inside first. We're going to probe that defense a little bit first, and once, credit to the kids for either feeling embarrassed from the night before or feeling frustrated because of their lack of focus from the night before, but they did what they were asked to do on that Friday night at Hebron, and really never. I mean, we jumped out to a 3-point lead in the first quarter, but it was never one of those games where you're like, is Hebron going to come back? Because you just knew your kids were in the right mindset to throw the ball inside, just to continue to maintain things, and we got up like by 13 or 14 in the fourth quarter, and we're like, okay, we're just going to go 4 out, 1 in, and that ball just has to go in, period. And whether we win by 20 or not is not important. They're just not going to catch up by us playing that way. So, that's kind of what we did. We finished out a pretty good game. Nick Mikash, our senior, had 22 that night. His high point total on the year. And I asked him the night after, I said, so you had your high point total of the year last night, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, how many threes you shoot? He's like, none. I'm like, there you go. I said,
answer your own question.
That's the way you have to play, and other people can play different ways, but you got to play this way. And Cam Webster, he had 11 that night, and we had Logan Raymond. Actually, he came off the bench for us. The junior played real well that night, had 9. So I mean, we had contributions from everybody that night. So it was a pretty good bounce back game for us against Hebron.
And a big county rivalry game at Rensselaer last night. A lot of emotion from both sides, fans, players, coaches. It was a great night.
Yeah, it was a really intense night. I mean, I think this has been probably the calmest coaching stint I've had in my career this year. I mean, I've been pretty much kind of mellow on the sideline, and I was still pretty mellow for Rensselaer game last night, but it was just an intense atmosphere. It was good for the kids to play in that leading up to sectional time. Our students really came out in force, and Rensselaer had their students as well, and they were going at each other, which was made for a fun night for all involved. And obviously some shenanigans go on that always go on at KB Rensselaer games, but I joked before we came on the air, it turned into the Kentucky Derby there at the end with horses running all over the floor and stuff like that. And, it was just like, give me $5 on the 3-horse, But anyway, it was, the thing I liked about that game is, even though we didn't shoot as many threes last night, we shot some, but not as many as we did against Twin Lakes.
Right.
We probably didn't shoot only 10. We probably shot a few more than that, but it wasn't a ton. It wasn't like out of the ordinary. And what I liked about that is it had the Twin Lakes feel for a long, long time where we're hanging around. But because we didn't settle as much, we were able to finally, I think, wear them down a little bit. And I know the kids don't like as much conditioning as we do in practice or as much conditioning as we've done in the off season. But I think you saw a team last night that I think one team was a little bit tired and one team wasn't. And I think in the second half that really showed up. I think we just went out there and played hard and accepted the challenge at halftime defensively, but also offensively, just continuing to, chip away inside, chip away at that wall, and eventually that wall's going to fall down. And, another thing I really, really liked was how when we took a lead, we just didn't give it up. We kept extending it the entire thing, got up to 11 at one point a couple times. Just kept, we got the lead now. We're going to continue to go inside. We're going to continue to get to the line, and we're just going to keep extending this lead, playing some good defense. Rensselaer's a tough place for it to go win. I mean, it always is. Our kids feel the pressure there, rightfully so. I mean, I think all the kids. I think their kids feel the same way when they come to our place.
Sure.
It's just a pressure-packed game, and but I think our kids really showed a lot of tough-mindedness, staying with it for as long as they did. And then, a good finishing aspect to that team last night as well by pulling away.
Shot your free throws really well.
Free throws are great, yeah.
Well, and I think that's one thing that shows that we were in attack mode last night, is we were in the bonus pretty early both halves. And I think when you get in the bonus that early, I mean, I think that shows you're trying to get the ball inside and trying to you're the aggressor to the basket. And I think by us doing that, we got to the free throw line early, and we were. I mean, we might have, 20 or 30 or something like that, or 21 or 30, something like that. But it was, but still, I mean,
Well, one guy had a problem, but we won't mention names there. So.
Yeah.
Free throws, but.
Yeah, but we did pretty well though overall with that. So we just got to keep attacking, and that's our MO. And we can hit the three, but come on, we got 6'4", 6'5", 6'7", so we have to look to go inside as much as we can.
And you were +6 in my totals, +16 in rebounding too. So.
Yeah. I mean, a really good showing by all of our players, but especially our three bigs and me, Kage, Sampson, and Days. Sills comes off the bench and rebounds really well for us. The one thing I like about Jamin Sills when he comes off and rebounds is he doesn't concede any rebound. If he thinks he can get it, he's going to go get it.
He had 7 in one quarter alone. The second quarter, he had 7 rebounds.
Yeah, and he led us at Hebron with 9 boards that game. It's just he like I said, you'll have some kids that say maybe I can get that, maybe I can't, and they'll concede it. He doesn't concede that. He goes up and gets it, and that's why he gets those rebounds. I mean, you got a 50-50 rebound, he's going to get that, and he's starting to find his niche, and this is the first year he's played organized basketball, so. He's starting to find his niche where I'm going to defend really well, be a nuisance on the defensive end, and I'm going to rebound and get putbacks. And that's he keeps doing that for us. He's going to be just another player that we can put in there that's going to give us some quality minutes and going to cause some teams some problems because you got to account for another guy in the offensive class now.
Talking about guys in the middle that played well, Sampson had a good game. Seen him and he gets out there. But I've never seen him use his minutes as productive as it seemed like last night. He was a physical force. And when the ball go up, there was a lot of loose balls, a lot of scrums, and man, he was always one of the first ones to fight his way and get in the middle of that.
Well, first of all, Will is just a first-class kid. He is just a great, great kid. And, one of the things, he's had a stretch of games where he really settles us down and does a lot of the little things that, just being a great team guy, funny you would say that about him last night because I think the 2 games before that, the Hebron game and the Twin Lakes game was probably, he would tell you, the 2 worst games he's probably had all year.
Really?
And after the Hebron game, he was really frustrated. And I don't know if it was just a bad game or he was just a step slow, but it just seemed like the whistle was against him, and
sure.
Whether he was a step slow getting there defensively or whatever, but he was just really frustrated after those 2 games, and it was just really nice against our rival to see him bounce back and have such a productive night all around for us. He had his 18th birthday on Saturday, the day after the Hebron game, and we kind of got on him for not bringing us all cupcakes and stuff. So I told him that if he doesn't bounce back, in the next game or 2, we're going to have to run him for not bringing those cupcakes. So since he bounced back, I guess we'll let him off the hook on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see him bounce back from those 2 poor games. I know he was really frustrated after the Hebron game, and And he's just such a nice kid. I mean, you hate to see any kid frustrated, but especially somebody that's just a top-notch team guy, you know. And it was just great to see him have a good night last night in his last Rensselaer game, you know. So
sure.
What's the rest of this regular season for the Cougs here?
Busy. We don't play till Saturday with the weather. I'm happy. We're already off school tomorrow, so you know I'm happy we don't play till Saturday because Friday would be if we get what we're supposed to get would be iffy, you know. So we play Hanover Central at home on Saturday. We've already played them this year in the Highland tournament. We won by 15, but once again, you know, I hope my kids learned the lesson with Rensselaer. You know, I mean, I told you guys last night one of the worst things that happened to us was the Frontier game on Saturday night here. You know, because our kids see the score and then it's like, whatever. No, it ain't. Whatever. You know, they're gonna be ready for you. They're gonna be mad how they played against Frontier, and they're gonna be ready for you. You know, and
you expect the same thing Saturday then?
Because I hope we are mature enough that we come out and play well.
Right.
But I mean, Hanover is going to be ready for us because of what happened in the holiday tournament. We beat them by 15. We actually got out to an 18-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. You know, so they're going to be. You know,
I'll remember that one.
That's you know that's going to be top thing on their board is that can't happen again. You know, so they're going to be ready to go. We have to be ready to go at home. We're actually honoring the '92 sectional championship team. 30 years ago, we're honoring them in between games. So that's going to be fun for the kids. We actually watched that game on film tonight after our practice.
Who were some of the? Do you remember some of the players then?
Well, I do. I mean, a lot of the kids don't know anybody out there, but you know,
Right.
like Keith Baker and Scott Lockhart. Were a couple of the main players on there. Mike Sampson, Will's dad, was a senior that year, so we got the kids got a big kick out of seeing Will's dad on film 30 years ago. And my brother Jamie was a junior on the team. He'll be back up from Orlando, and we'll get to introduce him to snow again for a little while, a couple of days. So that, you know, Tim Zelstra, Andy Aubrey, yeah, there's a lot of KV names there, you know,
Sure.
on that list, you know.
Sure.
So we're doing that. That'll be good for all the kids to see that. And then the next week we got 3 games. We got Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Wow.
Busy. We got Tuesday night. We go to Lafayette Central Catholic, which is going to be a good test for us. Leading into sectional, that's a good team for us to play. They're very, very similar to our main rival in sectional, Culver Military Academy. The teams are how they're just comprised are almost identical. So very good for us to go up against them, especially at their place. Did a good road test in. Thursday night next week, 8 days from now, we host Hobart in our final conference game. That's a makeup game from the last snowstorm we lived through. So we got them at home. And then last but not least, we travel on Friday night to North Judson to finish out the regular season over there.
Some tough games.
Yeah, I mean, North Judson's having a good year. So, you know, we got some toughies left on the schedule to get us ready for sectional. But, you know, we're not going to. We're 14-5 now, and we're feeling pretty good about where we're at, and hopefully get a few more wins as we go into the tournament. And
Now you host sectional?
Yep.
And who are the teams in there?
Culver Military, which we already talked about a little bit, and Wheeler, Knox, and New Prairie. So it's only a 5-teamer. 5-teamer. So, you know, we'll see where the draw takes us and stuff. But I mean, you would have to think hosting would help us, and we're looking forward to it. It's been a while since we hosted, but we'll see what we can do.
JV Cougars, boy, they had a nice game last night, or had a tight game, man. It was a physical game with the Bomber JV last night.
Yeah, I just think that during the week, especially on a weeknight, overtimes in the JV game should be outlawed. You know, just do like sudden death half court shots or something like that.
Free throw shooting.
Yeah, if it's tied up, you know, just finish it out like that. Yeah, that was an exciting game too. That kind of set the tone, I think, for the varsity game. Got the crowd a little jacked up into it and everything. You know, got a little excitement there. JV is slightly over 500. I mean, they have a couple. They're sophomores. They have a couple good games and a bad game. You know,
Right.
a couple good games and a bad game. And you know, they're not quite up the, you know, just the maturation process we all talk about. They're just not, you know, they're just not mentally, you know, strong enough to have that consistency that you'd think of a junior or senior of having. So, but yeah, they're doing pretty well. Coach Walter's doing a good job with them tonight. They practice really hard, and I think they'll be ready for Hanover coming up on Saturday.
Bill, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week, all right?
Sounds good. Thanks, Bob.
Bill Shepard, KV Cougars, back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Finding yourself in need of a quick repair or realize your home needs a good amount of updating? Who should I call? Call Make It Better Contracting for your solutions. They find time for new builds, remodels, and additions. Even when the roof leaks, your kitchen needs to be bigger, or you need another bathroom. Make It Better Contracting is your full-service contractor. If you own a project home that is in need of a lot of work, Make It Better Contracting is interested in purchasing your home. Call today at 219-863-0851. Together, we can make it better.
Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Joe Goodman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
High-quality personalized dental service. Is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117 or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics. Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Finding that missing shin guard. Remembering whether it's a home or away game. Getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things. Like not being that fan.
Oh, come on, ref!
That's simple human sense.
The Conrad Agency in Fowler and Brook. Call 765-884-0530.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117 or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
All right, ready to wrap things up here. Billy Boy, weather permitting, and that's a big if because the system's coming in tomorrow. But Friday night, we're scheduled to be over at North White for a Midwest Conference matchup, West Central at North White. Always a pleasure to go over to North White and broadcast the game from that beautiful gymnasium over there. So weather permitting, we'll keep updated if there's any postponements, cancellations.
Oh yeah, and it gets kind of iffy here this time of year. You don't know how much time is left to make these games up.
There isn't any.
Next week, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's plenty busy for all schools, but
They're already making up games next week. We got one ourselves.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
Tuesday, so it'll
that's
be
North Newton at Tri-County, right? On
right.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. So scheduled, our next games will be West Central at North White Friday night. But stay tuned. We'll let you know on Facebook and our website if things change. All right.
Sounds good.
Guys, thanks a lot. Scotty for running the board, Jeff for running the camera, and Billy for co-hosting me with here. Thank all the coaches for coming in. Thank Arnie's, and hopefully we'll see you guys Friday night. So long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.